Do the more.
What, bitch?
Do the more.
Yeah, whoa.
Do the more.
Yeah, woo.
Do the more.
Yeah, whoa. Damn.
Niggas tryna flex like Mar.
Like Mar.
Fuck bitches, no X like Mar.
Yeah.
Pull up and
Yeah, Lilmar, not for real, that way. Yeah, welcome back to the YouTube video, guys. And today, I'm gonna finally be talking about what prison was actually like. Now, I know you guys have been looking forward to this video because my last video, like I said, I really just talked about like my sentence and how I got out, and you know, that's basically it. But in this video, I'm gonna actually be talking about how, like, what prison actually is like. And I'm gonna just be real with you guys right now. The clickbait is titled. Prison is watered the fuck down, bro. That shit was lame as fuck. It was childish because, as I mentioned to you guys before, I was in the youthful offenders program. So if I was around the straight timers, maybe it would have been different. But really, the youthful offenders are just lame, and the shit was just watered down. So let's just go ahead and just get started from the beginning. So basically, I was at two different prisons. Now, basically how the South Carolina Department of Corrections work is everybody goes to this prison called Kirkland, which is on Broad River Road in Columbia. And now let me tell you guys about Kirkland. It's basically 24-hour lockdown. Now, you are in a cell 24 hours a day with two other people. There's 3 bunks in every cell, like it's bunk beds. And so you can have up to 2 other roommates. So it's hell, and the cell is small. And like I said, it's 24-hour lockdown. The only schedule is you come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to go to the shower. And you come out Tuesdays and Thursdays to use the phone. But Kirkland is so crazy. Like 90% of the time we were on lockdown. Like most of the time we didn't even do anything to be on lockdown. But so basically, sometimes we would go a whole week without coming out to use the shower. And if you know we're not coming out to use the shower, then you know we're not coming out to use the phone call. So we would sometimes only come out the room once every single week. Like, it was ridiculous. And then the other thing about Kirkland too is there's no commissary at all. Like, you can't order canteen. I had like $150 on my books that my parents left after my court date. And I never got to spend it until I finally got transferred to the other prison. But I did like my whole bid at Kirkland, unfortunately. Like, because the problem with, like, you're really only supposed to be at Kirkland for 30 to 60 days. Excuse me. While you're doing it's basically called Kirkland Recreation and Evaluation Center or something like that. And basically they draw your blood, make sure you don't have AIDS or anything. They do a physical, make sure you're, fit and all that. And then they decide what prison you're going to next. Now, the prison I was going to after that was called Tuberville, which is for all the youthful offenders. But we were all at Kirkland for like 4 to 6 months. I was there my whole bid, 4 months. A week after I finally got shipped to Tuberville, that's when I went home because I had already did my 90-day sentence. So they gave me a turnaround. So I spent my whole bid at Kirkland. That was absolute hell. Not because I was getting in fights or anything. Like, I never got in any type of confrontation or anything. Like, no altercation, nothing. Because there's nothing, like, there's no wreck. Like, we don't come out at all except that use that shower and to use the phone. So there's really hardly any, like, nothing really goes on there. Because nobody comes out. We're all locked in our cell all day. So it was lame as fuck. And then, like I said, no canteen. No canteen. All we eat, let me tell you guys about the food real quick. We eat 2 meals a day on the weekend. The weekdays, Monday through Friday, we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But on the weekends, we only eat breakfast and dinner. Now, the food was not as good as county. Like, when I told y'all about my experience in jail back in 2019, I told y'all guys the food was pretty good. Like, it had a good schedule. Like, there was a variety. But prison meals are terrible. Like, every day we either eat rice and mashed potatoes that's basically it. And then there's, they'll add something to it, maybe some gravy, a little bit of chicken, cut up chicken, or something. But it's really the same food every single day. Like, either rice or mashed potatoes, that's basically it. And then they just add something with it. Like, the food was very repetitive. It's the same menu every week. And for breakfast, it's same everything every day. Grits, eggs, and bread. That's it. Every morning, the same breakfast. It's terrible. Like, the food was and no canteen. I don't know how many times I can say that shit, but man, everybody at Kirkland loses between 20 to 30 pounds, and like in their first month. And we were there 4 months. I haven't even checked my weight yet, but I know I lost some pounds. But man, that was probably the worst part of being at Kirkland is the food. Now, let me tell you guys about the showers, because I guess you guys think prisons, I guess you guys think that's how rape happens in prisons, but Kirkland, I don't know about other prisons in other states, but in South Carolina prisons, there's no shared showers. Like, basically how the showers work is you go in one at a time. Like, there would be like 4 to 8 showers in the dorm, and it's a single shower, and you're locked in the shower. Like, it's basically you're basically behind a cell. So that was terrible, because sometimes the COs would, they would be in a different dorm doing their showers, taking them in and out the shower. So sometimes we would end up getting locked in the showers for like a whole hour or longer than that sometimes. So I really hated that. It feels so good being free and not being locked in a shower, because, I mean, you can turn the water on and off, but, just not having the freedom to get out the shower when you're done is just crazy. Because sometimes they would have us locked in there for a whole hour. I'd be ready to go back to my room and get back in bed, because that's really all I did all day. My whole bid, I really just stayed in my bed all day. Like, I really, basically how I presented myself, because I already knew how, that's why I wasn't really worried. I knew how to present myself, you know what I mean? I just basically stayed out the way. Like, I had my roommate, and my roommate was a Crip, and so it was mostly Crips in there, but, he talked to pretty much everybody, and he, sold, because what we smoked in there, oh yeah, let me tell you guys about smoking. Now, there's no weed in prison. We got something called K2, which is like paper, and it's kind of like spice. It felt like crack. Like, bro, you should have seen the people in there getting addicted to that shit. Like, it was oh my, people would sell their trays, their dinner trays, to smoke that shit, bro. And I was smoking that shit with my roommate because he sold it. So every night we would be smoking a whole, we would be smoking a wig stick in that bitch. But that shit had me feeling like a zombie. Like, if y'all look that shit up, look up K2. Like, that's what I was smoking in that bitch. It had me feeling so stupid. And every day, like, we would be smoking multiple times per day. And I don't even smoke weed on the street. So the fact that I was in there smoking K2, some drug that's like crack, I just could not believe that shit. But I'm so glad I'm away from that environment, because that's not for me. But as I was saying, like, the way I portrayed myself, I just stayed out the way. Like, I let my roommate handle all his business. Like, he would be at the door, throwing the truck. The truck is like what they use with the sheet to, slide stuff between the cells on the sheet, But, I was never in the mix. There was no reason for me to be. I didn't even really talk to anybody. I just minded my own business. Like, people would see me coming out the room to go to the shower, and all they would really say was like, damn, you tatted up. That's really all people said. Or they would ask me about my Versace glasses, because don't nobody in prison go to prison with designer glasses. So that was definitely something. I was definitely flexed up in that bitch. But yeah, ain't nobody really had no problems with me. As long as you just mind your own business and just, like I said, prison is watered down. They don't, you know what I mean? There's not really a reason to start a confrontation unless you do something to somebody. But people aren't just gonna get on you for no reason. You know what I mean? So the whole 4 months, like I said, I really didn't talk to anybody except the people. I did talk to a couple people like that were in the cell next to us, but like I wasn't about to yell across the dorm, because the way the dorm was, like, it was a square, and like all the cells were like, basically in a square, but there was no doors. Like, there was a door, but there was like a flap, an open flap, a large flap. Like, the whole side of the door was like gone. Like, there was a big gap you could stick your arm out and everything, so you could like talk to people all over the dorm. So it was easy to hear them, you know what I'm saying? It was loud in that bitch. So but I like I said, I was never like I would never talk to somebody all the way across the cell, because I just don't really got no reason to. Like, unless they wanted to ask me something or my roommate something, I just, I just stay out the way. I would sometimes have a little conversation with my like the guy in the cell next to us, because he's next to us. So, but other than that, I didn't really talk to nobody, because I wasn't there to make no friends. I'm just trying to do my time and go home. You feel me? Some of them people like actually were trying to make friends and find people to hang out with when they get out of prison. They're just gonna end up right back in prison. I'm not with that life. I don't need that to live that lifestyle. I don't need to have friends that live that lifestyle. But oh yeah, there was one other thing I want to talk about was we did have tablets in there. Now, there was a big problem with it. South Carolina does not have it going on with the tablet situation. Now, I think they got tablets back in like 2019 or 2020, so they had plenty of time by now to have it in order. But unfortunately, it's still not in order. So basically, how the tablet situation was is none of us had assigned tablets. There was stolen tablets because there was plenty of tablets like from people that got shipped out, and there were still tablets around, and or they would get their tablets stolen before they left. And so basically you had to buy a tablet. Now, there was a guy in our dorm, he was the runaround, who got to be out, pass out the trays and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and the trays, like years ago before COVID and quarantine, like you used to could go out the room to go to the cafeteria to eat lunch, but after that, then with COVID, they had to shut that down. So that's why nobody comes out at all for anything. But as I was saying, that runaround, he used to be selling the tablets to people, but I guess he was broke or whatever, so he would steal the tablet back from that person and resell it. Like, he actually did get me one time, but I didn't give a fuck about them tablets. Like, there were some people in there who would buy them tablets like 4 times because they kept getting stolen. Like, and people were ready to die about them tablets. Like, I'm telling you, but really, when you're behind the door, there's nothing you can do about it. So there was just nothing they could do about it. You feel me? So but what the tablet was, like, I mean, you can make phone calls with it, of course. You could watch movies, you could play video games, and you could listen to music. And like I said, that tablet was people's life because that's really all we had in there. But really, for me, like, I didn't need a tablet all day. See, the problem was, like, we didn't have no chargers in the room. Like, at Turbeville, there was chargers in the room, so you can charge your tablet in your own cell. But at Kirkland, you have to send it out with the CO, and they have a tablet, like a mass charger in the front office. And the runaround would go in there and, steal them. So that's basically what the tablet situation was like. So, but I was fine because my roommate, like I said, he was a Crip, and he was well respected in there. So he always had his tablet, the whole bid. So I was fine really just using his tablet every, a couple times a day to call out, I didn't need a tablet all day because I really didn't like the fact of even having a tablet because it was a big risk, knowing that someone was going to try to steal this. You know what I'm saying? Plus, like, it just made me sad sometimes knowing that I couldn't use it to get on social media. Like, I really wanted a real phone. Now, there's no phones at Kirkland. Now, they do have phones like iPhones at Turbeville because that's easier for them to smuggle it in, but Kirkland is just so, like, strict. Like, they don't, like I said, that's why they don't even have weed at Kirkland. All they could smoke was K2. Sometimes they would get tobacco in, but one of the COs got fired, so that didn't last long. She got caught sneaking in tobacco. But all that was at Turbeville. Now, let me tell you guys about Turbeville, even though I was only there a week. So once we finally got transferred to Turbeville, like I mentioned before, I was in that shock program, so I wasn't with the regular YOAs. Or at least I wasn't supposed to be. But when we got to Turbeville, they still put us on another quarantine. So they put all of us in the same dorm. It was basically the same as Kirkland, except that we only had one roommate, and we did get a canteen. So my last week there, I ate good. I had honey buns. Apple pie. I ate everything, bro. My stomach was hurting so bad, though, because I wasn't even used to eating that much food. I'm just used to eating 3 regular trays a day and 2 trays on the weekend. So having all that food, man, my stomach was hurting. But basically how Turbeville was supposed to be was once I did that shock program, we were going to get moved to our own dorm, and we were going to be, going out and cleaning up and passing out trays and all that type of stuff. But since I did my full sentence at Kirkland, my 90 days that I was sentenced to, I didn't have to do any of that because we were on quarantine. So after my 7 days, I went home. I got a turnaround. So it was really a blessing. Everything worked out. And I really just want to thank the Lord because, like I mentioned, I was never in any confrontation or altercation or anything like you guys think our prisoners. I was never in any type of fight. Nothing. No argument. Nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Some people went crazy in there some days. Like, and I got a lot more stories. Don't get me wrong. Like, I got plenty of stories because there was different situations which I witnessed, but it never involved me. You feel me? So I got a lot more videos coming, but I just want to make this video real quick to let you guys know, like, that's how prison is. It was just lame. Like, the food, the showers, just being locked down, like, that's basically all it was. All I did was really just lay in bed all day and just sleep. Just there's not much to do. Like, we was smoking good. That's basically it. So, like I said, I got plenty more stories coming. So make sure you guys click the subscribe button down below. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the real Lilmar. Follow me on Snapchat, Lilmar. And make sure you guys be on the lookout for that first day out. Dropping real soon.
You Rick in this bitch smoking K2. Making bangers in this bitch, that's a shark too. Niggas whooping from the cell, sound like a fish behind a shark too.